And you doubted me. Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another RC Conspiracies. We'll get this thing kicking in just a minute. Give this thing time to simmer. And we'll get rolling. I see a bunch of people in the chat already. Sean's RC Adventures is giving it to me. James Mann, R. Casper, Scale RC Driven. Darwin Bonky. Kevin Gibbs is in the house. Blue Dooley 4x4. For those joining later, I will put a time code in the description right at the top. You click on that, and it'll take you right to the spot where the video starts. We'll be with you in about 30 seconds. We're getting everything started. Let's get the behind the scenes, apparently. Getting rusty.
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready and put on those tinfoil hats because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony Cece. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another RC Conspiracies. And there's a lot of news going on, so it could be a fun night. You guys have heard it already. It's already been out. All the stuff's been out there. So basically, we just want to hear what you have to think about it, what you know that I don't know. And we'll bring that to everybody that's watching. So does that sound like a plan? There's a couple things definitely that are worth addressing tonight. But before we get into that, what do we got? We've got the new. There's a couple that aren't listed in the. I wanted to go with the whole cages thing, and so there is the G-Made. Also, I missed a week because I had to work, and maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. I did on the last podcast, which is a good segue to the things that we talk about at the beginning. If you guys aren't already following, I do have a podcast going that is not RC Conspiracies, but it's called While My Batteries Charge, RC Podcast. I just put RC Podcast in there because it's good words to have in the title for people looking for RC podcasts, you know? So the batteries thing could have been any kind of batteries, who knows? But anyway, there's that. And I did talk about this kind of already in a very brief kind of format, and I didn't go into everything else I wanted to talk about. It was just kind of a brief battery one. So there's that, as well as the merch store. If you go right to the homepage here, if you're ever on the site and you want to check, there's the RC Bashing Is Not a Crime, RC Conspiracy shirt, CCXRC. You can get a mask if you wear masks. Fanny packs, all that kind of good stuff. But we are going to be talking about the Losi Baja Rey, the Enduro Gatekeeper, the G-Made Buffalo, GSO2F Buffalo, the Mini Z Jeep, which looks spectacular, the J Concepts, new Fling Kings Juniors, and they also have their Renegade Juniors. We'll talk a little bit about that. And also, so a lot of tire stuff at the end. We'll come back around to. But we want to start with the cage stuff. And there's a couple of caged cars that have come out already. We have, I mean, it seems like it's a really big thing these days. You've got like the Capra, the Axial Wraith 1.9. You've got, I mean, there's just a bunch of cars that are running, you know, that the full cage look now. And it's really cool. And I like it. And, you know, there are some drawbacks and there are some positives. We can talk a little bit about that. I do really like what Losi is doing with this. And I really, really like what Element RC is doing with the Gatekeeper for a couple reasons. And we'll talk about that and hear what you guys have to think about it as well. Because I've only had a little bit of time to get on this stuff. And maybe some of you guys have gotten into it more than I have. Kevin Gibbs is saying, hello, the Gatekeeper took my Big Rock money. Dude, I feel that. I definitely feel that. If you went on my Facebook page, you would see that I've listed some things for sale. I'm trying to sell some stuff to get some of the new stuff that's coming out. I really like the Gatekeeper. It may be my first Element RC. Cody Vandenberg is in the house as well. Lester's RC and Artworks, right one. Welcome, guys. PG Boost. Jeff Lemoyne, Oh Canada RC, the podcast is here. And if you guys haven't heard it already, I was on his podcast last week. And then that was also followed up with RC Amigos was on there as well, Pablo. So interesting stuff. I had a couple of weird answers to some of his questions. When I went back and listened to it, I'm like, oh, that was my answer. He gave me like first thing that comes to mind. And yeah, you have to listen to it. I'm not going to give it away. That's my way to push you to go listen. But it's really good. JORC's there. Nothing gets heads turning like a CCXRC fanny pack. I don't actually have one that's a CCXRC one, though. I just have the RC bashing is not a crime. I think. Did I make a CCXRC one? I don't think I did. Nope. I don't see one, at least. Not in the featured stuff. That's not scale t-shirts as well. There you go. We get these things crawling so far to the side. I had to make a shirt that shows it like on the almost 90-degree side hill in that thing like nobody's business. I'll tell you what. They had their weight planted right. It was a really good crawler. SFL RC 24, Southern Florida RC 24. And he's saying, yeah, he's comparing it to the UDR, and it is very big, and very impressive. And it pretty much, my comment on there was, you've pretty much sold me on it. I knew the other one was bigger, but they've stretched this one. And I honestly didn't love the style of the body on the 1.0. It didn't look super scale to me, kind of the nose of it. And so I like what they've done with the new one, and it just looks really scale. I mean, so the UDR came out and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so scale. And then so Losi kind of took it and stepped up to that same kind of level playing field, but still kept it huge. So, and it's 8S. 8S. I don't know that I needed to go 8S, but yeah. Martin, there are stickers in there. If you follow it through to the products here, you have to click through and to one of the shirts, and then you can go to the products, and there's stickers. This is a really big one. You don't want that. Oh, there's a fanny pack, trail bag, we call it. CCXRC one. If you wanted to get the smaller ones, you're best off is getting one of these ones and just cutting them out. Or if you have a Facebook account and you just send me your address, you could probably get some in the mail that way. Just saying. Just saying. We do have some stuff in here. If you're interested, we don't want to belabor that stuff. But if you were asking about stickers, Martin, just hit me up, man. Game Changer, the fan man, is in the house. I have got some big plans for my Game Changer fans going into my felony. So I got to get working on it. I still have the fin is just off, or the front air splitters just in pieces on the shelf. I haven't gone back to it. There's so many things on the bench that I've got to get to, and this truck behind me now has blacked out wheels. That's the dually Sen going blacked out. Going to make it a drag truck, 2-wheel drive. Video going to be coming on that. I don't have a motor system for it. I mean, I've got motor systems, but I don't have a censored one that I would really want to drag it with. I think I'm going to start with this one and just give it a try. It's a Castle 5700. It's not censored, but I just need a censored ESC and I'd be good to go, I think. But I can at least get it on the line and punch it a few times, see how it handles in general. So, yeah, definitely need to check that out. So yeah, the fans, I got them right here. They're ready to go in. Got a Boxo fans that are going to go in there. Right on. These things are kicking too. There's these, and then there's this brick here. And this is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And then just stick it down into the chassis and sucking air out basically off it. That's the plan. So just need to get some time on the bench. Right now on the bench is, I don't know. I hate to vent about stuff. It's not venting. It's explaining, I guess, that sometimes when somebody sends you something, there are obligations that go along with it. And so the thing that's on the bench has to get done because of that. And so whether or not it's exactly what I want to be doing right now, I need to get it done to get the videos done. But I'm enjoying it. It's just, I want to be doing the speed cars and getting this fan in and that. But I've got like things in order that got to lay out. But what I really want to do is I want to get these cars that are on here and start running these things and talking about them. Luckily, they're not out yet. So I've got that going on. What's going on, Stickies? Scaled RC Driven is James Sockrider. Hey, man. Welcome. Can't wait to run that gatekeeper. Yeah, so let's talk about these things for a minute. And then we'll get on to some of them. Let you guys talk about it. This one, as a basher guy, as a speed guy, I love monster trucks. I love trucks. This thing really has my attention. And I originally thought that I would want the blue one, but this one has really grown on me. And I like the lines on this one. It just feels fast to me. And so this is what I'm leaning toward right here. So you can see the price has gone up, but it's because of all of the stuff that they've done to this thing with the bigger ESC, the multiple light kits. You can see the scale cage. This is what we're talking about. Cages are like a thing right now. Now that doesn't come without some bit of a pain in the butt. Let's just be honest, right? So, I mean, ideally things won't be going wrong in here. Hopefully. It's got a 5th scale servo, which is really big, I think, for this. A lot of the other ones aren't running necessarily that big. I mean, my Mojave is taking a beating with a standard size servo. So that should be all right, I think. Hopefully most of the work is going to be done on the outside of the cage where you're just breaking things because you clip things really weird. And the electronics will be okay. And you don't have to get in there for the batteries because they're bottom loading, which isn't my favorite thing either. But at least it looks like you can drop in a lot of different sizes. But anyway, I love the rear wheels here that they've got the extra wheels. The cage does look mint. I mean, they've gone very scale with this look. And it just, I mean, the suspension travel that they have is insane. So you do need chargers and batteries, but other than that, these things are ready to go. The other thing is the video for these. What did you guys think of the video? I think it's one of my favorite RC videos yet. We can get in here and mute this. When they really get ripping this, that fine dust that they've got going with this thing, the slow motion stuff, it's shot on a really, really high end, like Red or FS7. I mean, this is next level video stuff. These sparks, the fade to the different truck. I mean, just high end stuff. JO says the cage, take a good look at the pic of the EFC. You'll never see it when you buy yours. Yeah, so they've gone for a very scale look. Again, hopefully most things that you'll have to work on are going to be arms, trailing arms, shocks, things that are accessible without taking off the body. I watched so Matt from Scale Builders Guild, I'm wearing a shirt actually right now, did an unboxing of his kind of. He doesn't really do unboxings, but he did as close to one as you're going to get in a live video. But he literally took it apart, took the body off and all of that to show everything inside. And it's a bit to get in there. Yeah, they crush it too. Just really epic. So just really well done. Very cool, guys. But this is interesting though, with the access, you do have access down here to your motor. According to Aaron from RC Sparks, I just watched that video today. It looks pretty cool. And this is the battery tray that has a little pin that you pull on. That's right in this bottom area here. Pull it and it allows that to pop out, and then you drop your big batteries in there. But I don't know. I don't know what size is, all of that. I haven't looked into it. I hope that it will take the 4S batteries that I have, no problem. But you can see it here where they're pulling on it. Actually, I don't know what I was looking at. This picture shows it much, much better. How's it going? RC Show Off 11 Charlie joined us as well. But it looks super scale. They've redone this front end, and I just really like the look of it. So it's running basically like what they're running in the Creightons and that, with the 8S setup, but it's not the full fifth scale 8S setup. Like if you look at my DBXLE, that motor is ginormous, and these aren't quite that big. But yeah, the full roll cage on this thing is insane. And it's just like the skeleton that it makes is super cool. But I mean, a lot of it's, the 8S, a lot of us have worked with these now. I like them. Haven't had any issue yet. None of mine have burned up, so that's been good. And overall, I think that they've done some nice things, extending the front end, making the changes that they made to make it even more scale looking. 3 sets of lights. You got the rear lights, front and 2 in the front. AVC control, which is and it does have the DX3, which is, pretty decent remote. I've been happy with the DX3s that I've had. And actually leave them on a lot of cars. But you guys wanted to talk about this. There's some scale guys in here, and they want me to use cookies. We're okay with that. And so this one actually has more things that I'm kind of interested in talking about. This is just like, okay, I'm going to buy it. Like it's like the best version of this, I think, that you can get in the scale realm. And I really think that at our oval track that this truck will be insane. Even from the top, this one even gets my attention. Feels like almost plane graphics in some ways. Airplane, not like plain and boring, but airplane-ish. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to see this in person. That's always the thing that gets you When you see something like this in person, it'd probably blow my mind. So I do have some things on sale. I'm selling my DHK Maximus, and I'm selling my Tamiya Unimog 406 Wheelie, which is a fun little truck, but I don't ever drive it. So it's just taking up room. And at this point, I need to get rid of some of the stuff that's just taking up room. Has a new XL5, not new, but I just put in XL5 Traxxas. I think it's a 12-turn Traxxas motor. And then I just stuck a SR200, Spectrum in it. For what it is, it can handle it. So that's not the right button. Where is it? There it is. It's the green button. I should have known. JORC, man, thank you. Losi Fund. That's awesome, man. Dude, Yo One, go to sleep for sure. That's very early in the morning, 4 a.m. almost. So this one has my attention for a couple reasons. I looked at it and thought, oh, hey, a U4 truck, go fast. And I don't really think that that's what it's going to be most people using it for, and it's okay. Now, if I try and take my go fast-ish trucks like the Bomber and try and go crawling with it, it presents some problems. This one has the width and kind of the stance of a typical trail truck wheelbase and width, and so it should work on the courses that everybody else is already driving, but you have this really awesome scale looking truck. So it's kind of cool because I dig the look of it a lot. It's not for everybody. I know that. I really like my Capra too, though. And I like the Bomber look, honestly. So I dig this kind of look. The thing that I don't love about, there's a lot of things that I really like about the Capra in that it just tackles everything. I have never taken the Capra apart. And I'm afraid to have to take it apart to change stuff a little bit, because I've heard of people that built them and it sounds a little bit like a lot of work to get things to fit in there. And I've taken now my Bomber apart 5 times accidentally with my motor changes that I've tried to do on the cheap to get more speed, then actually got something that wasn't any faster because it was a 5-pole. And then I put in a 3-pole. Am I talking right? Is it poles? No, it's turn. 5-turn motor. And yeah, anyway, it was no, not turn. Turn's right. Turn's the speed, like a 12T. So I got a 15T 5-slot motor. You guys are gonna get me. Did you say it yet? You didn't say it yet. 5-slot. I'm looking in the comments. I remembered myself, and I learned about what slotting in motors means. And a 5-slot 16-turn is not very fast. It was about exactly the same speed as the 35-turn motor. That was a 3-slot that I took out. So there was that. And then I had to put in another one, which I went with a 15-turn 3-slot. And it was awesome. But Axial Fest had a limit on the motors for the mud racing, or the rock racing. So I had to go to a 20-turn. Anyway, a lot of opening and closing that thing. Fine with it. Pretty easy to get in there. Not a big deal. I've also had to take the Wraith 1.9 apart a few times to get in there and work on things. And it's a little bit of a pain. But this truck here, the way that they made that rocker, I got to find a picture of it. I don't know that I picked the best site. I'm on their site. It pivots forward with the 2 body clips that you see here, and it allows it to swing open, which is amazing to get in there and work on it. If they don't have a picture showing that, their advertising team needs some work. That is like a selling feature. That should be the first picture that comes up or the second, maybe the second. They're not going to show us that it flip tops. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know anybody at Team Associated, but if I did, I would call them and say, hey, you guys are missing like one of the biggest selling features of this new kit. It hinges on that front bumper right there where that screw goes, and the whole thing kicks forward. It's like, hey, Twin Hammers, take this. That's another car that was a pain in the butt to work on. And all of those WL Toys knockoffs that copied it exactly and didn't improve upon the design to make it easy to access the inside. These guys know how to build a truck right here. This is very cool. They keep the whole cage, but they let you flip it open and see everything inside. It's awesome. So I kind of know John Schultz. I go in and I bug him in his live streams on Facebook. That's about as much as we know each other. But yeah, so they have the nice shocks in here. They've got that stealth gear where you can go in and you can overdrive it, which is really cool. But I'm kind of shocked that they don't have that. I guess we just have to pull up somebody's video on YouTube. All right. So we need the Gatekeeper. Who? Hemystorm definitely showed it. Hopefully he won't flag me for jumping in. He's got an awesome paint job. He's Hemystorm. Of course, he's got an awesome paint job. So here it is flipped open. And you can see everything. In fact, we'll let him flip it open. Look at that. There's the shot we need right there. Cage flips open. I know Harley showed it too, and he was saying it would be nice to have some kind of something to hold it because it feels like it's putting some strain on that hinge point, which I totally get. But to get in there and work on it like this, change batteries, do all of that, it's so easy. You don't have to like do the thing that the Bomber has where you have to fight the batteries cables to go in, and then the lid doesn't want to close, so it's like bulging a little bit because of the plastic. If you don't have the battery leads going out the right way on the battery, some come out the side, and those ones are a real pain. Anyway, you guys get what I mean. It's cool, and it's also based on a C channel, so it's framed, so it's very much just a crawler that is like the rest of their lineup with some modifications to move things around, which is really, really cool. So I have watched some videos on this one. I'm very interested in this. I just watched the replay really of the other Losi one over and over and over again. And so I haven't watched all of the unboxings and all of that on it. I did do a lot of reading on it and saw some of the changes, and it's pretty impressive. But this one, because it's game changing to me in some ways, and other people do this flip top, right? Losi did it. They did it with the laser nut. They did it with their DB Tenacity Pro flip top cage. Those are running the flat pan, like short course buggy style, 8 scale buggy, 10 scale short course style flat pan chassis. So it's a little different, but I'm excited about this. And the reason that I chose the Mojave originally over like a UDR is because I can just take 4 pins off and take the top off, and I can work on it. So a truck like that, I may want to be swapping out pinions, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to want easier access to it. But in a crawler, people are tuning these all the time, or when I have 2 Wraith 1.9s that I'm wanting to do some changes with, change out the ESCs that they got to the Spectrum ones that have the built-in receiver already. That'll get me 2 receivers back that I need for other trucks, and it'll be kind of the all-in-one units. But it's like, man, I got to really tear into these to make it, the simple, what should be a simple change out of a ESC and receiver. A little bit more work when you're working around a cage. So what do you guys think of this? Are you guys going to be buying this? Well, I know Kevin Gibbs said he's already on it. Said his money is gone. So there's also, we'll talk about the G-Mate in a minute. The G-Mate has some really cool adaptability of how they do all the battery packs and all that. Hey, 307 Scoot. Thanks for doing a quick stop in. SFLRC24 says shorty packs only. And that's basically what you can run too in a, like the Capra, but you want to run 3S stuff, then you're getting like really small, like 1600 milliamp hour 3Ss that are, you almost got to put like a pad under it so they don't fall through and cause problems. But this is definitely something that intrigues me a lot. It's the building it part again. I didn't build the Capra when I got it. Didn't have the time. Looks like they've got it set up so you could mount it either way. Interesting. Maybe that's for different trucks that they have. So AZ Frog is saying he kind of likes it. Joel J says the SCX 10.3 is the next on the list for him. I'll tell you, yeah, I wouldn't give up my SCX 10.3 for one of these right now, but I already have it, so I'm interested in this for other reasons. But yeah, being a 1.9 U4 truck is very cool. But between this and this, I'm probably saving my money up for, if I want to have more of one style truck, it's probably going to be bashers, then it's going to be crawlers. Because I can just go out in my backyard and switch up every day of the week what I run as a basher. The crawlers, I'd have to just take a bunch with me at one time to run them. So I don't get as much use out of having multiples there. So as much as I like it, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I like what they're doing here. G-Mate also, last night we were listening to 11 Charlie, who had an awesome show last night. And he had on Josh and Matt, Harley Designs and Scale Builders Guild on his show. And a really, really good show. So you should check it out. If you haven't already, go backwards. Jo asked, does the new higher price in the Losi bring it too close to the DBXLE 2.0? Are they now competing against each other? I don't think so. I mean, the other one's still, is it $11.99 or $10.99? Let's see. It's $10.99 at A-Main. So $8.99 to $10.99. Guess it's $200. There's a couple reasons why not, probably. Some people don't like desert buggies. And they really love that short course trophy truck look. They're going to want that solid axle independent, or solid rear axle setup. And there's just size. It's smaller. It's not a true fifth scale. It's a little bit easier to manage and carry around. So I think it's just different people will get it. I honestly, as much as I love this buggy, it wouldn't have been a first choice for me. If this Losi had been out at the same time and it was cheaper, I probably would have got this. And because it's 8S. And it goes faster out of the box. So the other one's bigger motor, a lot of other things, but this one goes faster. I think. Yeah, 50 plus. Yeah. I think we got like 36 with this one. Are they going to even tell us the speed on it? Not really. I mean, you can always gear it up, but I think that the extra scale details of this will have some people really chomping at the bit to get this one. Darwin, all right, so you're taking us to the next thing. Is a Rock Ray 2 coming or what? That's a good question, JL. Would it be too close? I don't know. Again, different people and different. You'd use it. Well, they kind of drive them the same places. I always like this look better. That's just me. I know other people have what they like. How's it going, NorCal RC? All right, still accumulating parts for the RR10 bomber. Oh, Cody's making a killer one. All right, so let's see here. The next thing would be the G-Made. There's a couple we didn't talk about. There's just one I'll just touch on really quickly. So there's two options for this. If we go back to the products here, the vehicles, they've got this Buffalo kit and then the military one. So this one's just got a little bit, different type of bumper and lights and this kind of funky roof rack. I don't know what's going on with that roof rack, honestly. Do they actually make some that look like that? Is it based off of a certain brand? It almost looks backwards. Like a part of a Thule front end or Thule or Thule. Buffalo and Bronco. I just got it. I'm slow. So General Hobbies likes it. So he says the roof rack looks sick. I've never seen anything like it in real life. I don't know that I would put one on my real car that looked like that. Honestly, I don't love it, but that's what's cool is we all have our own opinions and tastes and what we like and don't like. It just looks like it sticks off and it doesn't follow any curves or, this is such a curvy, older style car. I don't know. It feels like it needs to be shorter, like not come to the edges so far. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the scale feels off to me. But yeah, kind of like a Blazer. But yeah, I think the truck itself looks great. And we'll look at their gear set as well. I'm going to go back to the military one because I like that one without the roof rack on it. And I just think the paint job and the bumper look cool on it. And the kind of the grill here, this brace to protect your front end. So yeah, it's like a K5 look for sure. But the links on it look pretty massive to me. And so I've only been able to look at this. You guys, spotted it last night. I like the molding that they've done here. The fender flare type add-ons and that they move, they go right into your bumper. I think that's pretty cool. I like this paint job that they've done with it. I kind of wish you could just get that already painted. The antenna is really sick. It does have the molded door handles, mirrors, some of those nicer details. And yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty cool truck. The transmission is what really gets me, and all of the details that they've done here are kind of interesting to me because there's so many ways that they've got this for setting it up, right? Where you put your battery, where you're going to put your electronics. You can swap this around, and they show different pictures of the frame in the different setups that they have for it. I like the wheel wells that they have here. Those look pretty cool to me. The transmission is pretty big and substantial in here. And they're showing here their little stamped C channel side rails that go through the motor. I'm wondering what this top point is. Is that maybe to put like a fan on with the different screw holes or mounts up there? I'm curious what that's for. But the front grille looks really tough. I'm agreeing with General Hobbies. And the body movements, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll show a little bit of the video. It does look really scale, and a lot of that has to do with this weird transmission setup that they have in here that just looks so different with the gears and the overdrive setup that they've got. I was pretty impressed when I actually stopped and looked at it. So they've got it so you have this front weight balance. They talk about all of the climbing capabilities of this car, moving the motor forward. You can put your battery tray forward or back, however you want. So on the right side, they've got it set back toward the rear of the car, and then here they're showing it up front, and then you just have to move your different parts around, your ESC and your receiver box. I am curious what that little mount is above the motor. Does anybody know what that's for? It looks like it would be for a fan. Put underneath it, maybe, and screwed down from the top. I don't know. So here's where you're also seeing some of these. They are tapered, but they still look really beefy. The axles, the diff cover at that angle is pretty cool looking as well. It does say for a fan, Darwin says, okay. Yeah, and it does look like the RC four-wheel drive Blazer size, you're saying? Who's that? Kevin Gibbs? So here's the different color. I'm a fan of the green, but this isn't too bad. So here's the drivetrain. This is where it gets a little bit crazy. And also, I guess how they're able to set up the different overdrives. Because they mentioned that they overdrive the front, but it looks like a simple switch out of a couple gears. So you can see the substantial size of it. Here's the 2-speed setup with the servo to engage that, the whole transmission. But here's where it's showing the overdrive for your front end and higher RPMs from to the front versus the rear. And I'm trying to see. It looks like it'd be just changing out this one gear. AZ Froggies likes the desert sand. So here it is in the transmission for showing how to do the overdrive. I'm just trying to see. It looks like that would be right here. You have the 2 gears set up on this right side. You guys, it's really far for you. It'd be these ones, it looks like that you'd change. So it's driving this, and then if you change the sizing between these two, it would drive one over the other, which would make a lot of sense. But they show it in a quick little video here. And it really helps remove any of the torque twist. And where you really see it, and they do a great job showing it in this video, when they show this transmission working, is when you're on a hill climb and you see that one wheel lifting up and you're getting that torque twist on a climb. That's where you really see that. So I don't think this was the actual video I was looking for. It's this one, the TTR system, they call it. Yeah. So when they show this thing driving and you don't get any of that body roll, it's really impressive. Look at that. Right off the line. Now, it does look like they're hitting the one on the left a little harder, I'm just going to say. But so Sean says it's the same way as they did it on the GSO too. Okay. How's that perform? You really see it here on this rock for sure. Or at least they made me believe it. Because you would think that this has that whole, all the weighting too. You'd think that this one would be lifting a little more. Anyway, it's intriguing for sure. Sean, you said GSO or General Hobbies GSO2 is the bomb I'm talking about. Okay. And you were saying it clicks. And Sean is vouching for their 2-speed having worked okay. 11 Charlie, man, I'm with you. I want the military one. If I were to get one, I'm curious about this whole transmission setup. I'd love to try it and see how it handles. But trying to be good on the wallet. This is one I know that's going to get Sean's interest the most out of all of them. I know he's a Jeep guy, first of all. So here's a nice Jeep Rubicon for him. And it's a 1/25th scale, I believe. So it's not actually the one that you despise so much, which is the 1/24th scale. So there you go. This might be right up your alley. It's a licensed product. It just looks fantastic. The doors, because of it being a hard body, the lines that they're able to get in here are just next level. And I think that their video guy wasn't quite as good as the Losi video guy, because I'm realizing here on this intro that the lights aren't flickering on this shot of it. Oh, a little bit. But when they're driving it out here, those lights are just flashing nonstop. And I think that's just the refresh rate and the shutter speed of the camera freaking out. But I could be wrong. I hope they don't flash like that. That would be really, really unfortunate. But it's also why I don't like running lights in my cars, is because you get that kind of problems happening that you don't get when you don't run lights in cars. But these just look so good. And they're shooting at a crazy aperture to get it looking like that much depth of field. Jo, right on, man. Sean's RC Adventure says, I ordered 2. Luckily, they're on back order. They do look good, though. They do look really good. I'm looking for something that confirms that these are 1/25th scale, though. Now that I've said it, I'm on the record. I know a lot of the other Kyosho stuff is built at a 1/25th scale in the mini zine lineup. Come on now. Now I'm scrolling too fast. I probably missed it. And I don't see it. Cool. So that's just something that came out when I was gone. But they've really done a great job, I feel like, with the construction of these as well. They've got the Nitto Ridge grapplers on it. They've just gone scale on it. And I appreciate that they did it in such a tiny form factor. For me, I'm excited about this stuff from J Concepts. It's about time that we have something that can just slap onto our kits for our Axial SEM T10s. If we want to get rid of the BKTs that come with it, or if you get a kit and they don't come with wheels or with tires, but they come with wheels, these would be awesome to put on. Some mud tires here, Fling King Juniors, and then also these Renegade Juniors, which would be awesome for racing in that class, the 2.2 class. So people that have been asking when are tires and stuff going to come out, I actually just bought some Pro Line ones because I can't find anything else. And this, to me, is a game changer for that class of RCs, which is awesome. Sean's at least saying they actually do look good, though. And SFL RC24 says they're expensive. The reason they're expensive is because of the hard body, honestly, licensing. That kind of molding and detail work's not cheap. But he also says for taking that kind of regular batteries, I actually would disagree with you there. So the batteries that the other small cars take are these little lipos, and they don't last super long. They're all right. Charging them's kind of a pain. You got to get like a little special adapter thing for it, or just do it off the balance leads. And I don't know. It's nice that you could be out at a track with that thing and your batteries go dead, and all you have to do is buy a 24 pack of AAAs and you can run for hours. I like that. Or I get AAA rechargeables, which is what I did for mine. And they're actually like lithium ion ones that you get for cars and race cars. And they're 900 HV, so they're high volt double A's. They're actually in my lighting setup thing right now, but those are by Orion. So I don't know what is regular, what makes it a regular battery versus not a regular battery, but those recharge and they power the cars awesome. The right one says he needs tribute wheels, not tires. I hate to tell you that I've got a set brand new of tribute wheels and Renegade tires in the garage. What color did you need? So what you're telling me is you've had 2 pairs of gloves this entire time. Yeah, we're in the Rockies. I'm gonna kill you, Lloyd. Great movie. So hopefully those are coming out. I think our store actually had some tribute wheels in the store. I'll have to go back and check. I'll have to check on that. But that's exciting news. Wheels and tires for that class. Before it was Proline that made the cool little destroyers that were 2.2s, and G Concepts made the Midwest ones. I didn't love the wheel pattern on the Midwest ones, so yeah. Proline. Speaking of wheels, they just came out with their new. Should be on this top scroller here. Their new drag wheels here, the Big Daddies. These are pretty cool. If you guys are in the drag scene, get some nice, real wide rear tires. It's an interesting setup. 25% wider. A little bit more than I need, but yeah. SFLRC 24 says, I gotta pee. Just go. Hey man, how you doing? New wagon looks all right. Can't wait to get them down here to New Zealand. All right. I've actually got, I think I'm going to be getting one of the RGT micro crawlers, they're 124 scale ones that are like the Element RC ones. Dude, you rounded the hexes on the factory wheels? Oh, okay. I thought you meant on the J Concept. I was gonna say I've got the hexes like crazy too for the J Concept wheels. Well, get in touch with me on Facebook, man. Can figure something out. I'm looking to sell stuff. I really want one of those trucks. So yeah, Element RC, Losi DBX. So that's everything. That's the news for today. How's the debate going, I guess? If anybody's watching. But yeah, it's pretty cool time. It's just gonna get amping up right now. And I'm holding out. Although so that's the thing, right? We're all still waiting on the monster truck announcements and stuff like that. And so we're waiting on J Concepts with these wheels. We're waiting on Losi, but I feel like I still just need to drop it and get one of those 6 scale Super Baja Rays. But, um, so speaking of last week, I couldn't do the show last week. It was a pretty cool opportunity, to go up to Baltimore. And so I did some shoot stuff on, what did I do? I did Tuesday and Wednesday shoot here in town, and then I had a Thursday shoot in Baltimore, but I had to be there Wednesday night. So I finished the shoot here, drove up to Baltimore, listened to podcasts and all that kind of stuff, and then woke up, did the shoot in Baltimore, and then drove back. And that's when I listened to Matt and other people do the Super Baja Rey stuff. That's when that announcement and all that was. And it was awesome. But part of the thing is like, so I've actually gone to part-time, like the contract. I had a contract job. So I do video production, and like I technically work for myself, and I just get different contracts, and they can vary in length. And it's nice when you have one that's a little bit longer. So just came off of a 2-year contract, that I actually ended a little early in I just went part-time on it. I finished it out, but I took another contract and gave my notice on the other one so that I'd have something to fall into. But it went basically I had to go part-time because there's just not work to do because the job it requires a lot of travel. So, and it was kind of my choice. Like I felt bad taking the money and knowing, and so it's like a nonprofit, and their money's better spent helping the people in need around the world, third world countries and all that. And so I was just like, I'm not doing the full value of what you're paying me, and I don't feel right about it. So it slowed off this past 2 months, and I think we need to go part-time. I can get enough done for you in that amount of time. And, it opens me up to do some other things. Anyway, so I went up to Baltimore, and it was a shoot, for a show, and Mike Rowe is the guest, and man, that guy was amazing. Just like he is on his show, like he does not play a character. And I think that was the coolest thing to see. Like when you look up to somebody, the voice of Ford and Deadliest Catch and in Dirty Jobs and all the different things that he's done, the Way I Heard It podcast, and just down to earth dude. That was so cool. Anyway, it was really a good, awesome day. And I don't know why I'm talking about it other than that's part of the reason why I'm selling a lot more stuff when I'm trying to buy new stuff. And I got a little edgy, I think, in the comments on something. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was trying to bring understanding, I guess, to what it was. And they were complaining. They're like, oh, us normal people can't afford the Spectrum batteries. We're not all influencers and whatever. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, we're not influencers. Like, I'm just a normal dude that works a regular job who does this YouTube thing for the evening, right? And just for fun, it makes a little extra money. And there's some free stuff you get, but I always tell people, like, if you knew how much money I spent on top of that, it really doesn't come free to make all of this happen. I mean, we're talking like a lot. And up to this point, even, I mean, you guys know the one with Bari wasn't cheap. The one with the big fifth scale primal, not cheap. So already you can kind of get get an establishment for this year. And this, if I get the Super Baja Rey, not cheap. Um, the freestyle stuff I bought, you know, not cheap. So even I got that mega truck for free, the 4x4 Arma Mega. That's the one that Axial or Arma Snafu sent me for free. But I trying to make video content and show people what they could do. I've dropped $150 into it already, So anyway, um yeah, it's not what everybody thinks it is. And so I am in that point where I'm like, I just need to start selling some stuff to keep doing new stuff if I want to. Or I'm trying to get back to some of the stuff that I actually love driving and enjoying. And so we'll see more of that. We'll see some of the ones that I have on the shelf that I haven't actually ever showed you guys, show some of that content as well. But um, yeah, so the Losi one has got me kind of like, what am I hedging on here? What am I holding out for with the money that I'm going to be spending? Knowing that now what was like free play money in a way from YouTube um, is going to go into like filling in that extra part that I'm not making now that I'm only part time. So anyway, so it'll be a lot of selling stuff. But yeah, but they weren't hating on me. They were just saying it, and I was just trying to hopefully come across, saying, everyone's, and he said everyone's thinking it and whatever. And I was like, well, keep saying what everybody's thinking, but like this is the reality. Like I spend, a lot of money on batteries. So at Axial Fest alone, I spent $360, I think, on batteries. That would fit better in the kids' wraiths and also into my bomber. Partly because you couldn't get them until then. They had some available, and I'm like, man, I'm going to get some. So yeah, there was a point in time where I was getting the Venom ones, and that was a sponsorship there, and I did get some from them. But I still bought a lot of them from them too. James, man, you're right about that one. Seems like every rock crawler ends up $1,000 or more, and that's the truth. Yeah, and a lot of them, my SMT 10s are the same way. You could pretty much go and say about those, like, when you buy them, luckily they've dropped the price now. It's like $300. That's tough to beat, getting a entry level off the shelf truck. But then you put in $130 castle system, which is perfect for it. You actually do it a lot cheaper now. Actually, put in some beef tubes. They've already got the metal gears in it. Front sway bar, you could actually be. You could actually be all right for probably another. That'd be another $200, so about $500, and you'd have a pretty decent SMT10 now. Actually, used to be a lot more when you first get into it, when they were like $400. Yeah, Kevin Gibbs, out with the old, in with the new. I like it. General Hobby says I sold 8 surface vehicles and 3 planes in the past couple of years to back off and get ready for the new tech. That's smart, man. That's smart. Well, you guys don't even know about the freestyle RC I've got coming that I'd already paid into. So I'm going to have to complete that thing out. It's been a year. We did the custom bouncer. Several SMT 10s. Felony. yeah, I'm not gonna say them all right now, but yeah. Um, but it's good fun. It keeps you out of doing other stuff. It gives you so much. You don't have idle hands. Let's just say that. So you're busy. You're keeping out of trouble, and unless with the way you're running your RCs are getting you into trouble, which can also be a problem, trespassing and stuff. But for the most part, you know, it's all good. But anyway, guys, I think we're ready to wrap. That was pretty much the stuff. I don't want to belabor all this and get going on it. I do need to fix that bouncer. Kevin Gibbs says, love the bouncer. That thing performs, and it does. But the shimming was so bad in those axles. I need to figure out how I want to fix them or if I just want to replace them with AR60s, just plastic stock ones. Or if I can just take the internals and put them in and shim them up right. I need to figure it out. But it's time. Like I've got that on the bench. I've got my RGT back on the bench. It's getting the fusion motor in it that I talked about. And so that's one of the ones I got to get done. I'll have the freestyle the build when that gets in. Hopefully the Bari build will be coming in the next 2 week or two. That 5th scale monster truck. I have a couple people offering to help me with the backyard. We just seeded it though, so I think I need to wait for that seeding to finish and take because it's starting to grow, and then we'll tear up the part that's gonna be track. And I just don't want to accidentally be driving on or messing up stuff we've got going good. So that'll get us back out there again and making some good content. Now it's the time of year that it's run time. It's cooling off here. It's amazing. You're going to see a lot more run videos. I'll be heading up to the trails more often. Snakes will be gone ish. And yeah, I mean, the bears don't usually come out during the day. Nothing to worry about there. So, yeah, general hobbies. So, you guys, I'd already talked to Bari and he was finishing up the truck. So, I wanted the black pearl, but I wanted a show body too because those red cat bodies can be a little brittle, let's just say. And so I'm going to try and back it really well. But I wanted a body I could always just put on it and have it look good. And I think that's going to be the Black Pearl body because I bought or I wanted a metal militia one. So I was eBaying him one that was being shipped to him so that he could get it wrapped for me. And that would all ship together in the box. So I wouldn't have to pay a separate shipping for it. So anyway, yes. Raren Raptor 6544 Yo Daddy says you're getting a Losi Baja Rey in a week. Awesome, dude. Blue Dooley ain't kidding about something. Felix Schlater is in the house. What is up, man? You're not hanging out with Mr. Beast tonight? I've been watching you, dude. You're rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling it. I don't even know if he's still here. So that's a dude I was working with. And I've been watching his. He's this insane artist, a really awesome video producer guy, just uber talent. And I start seeing him with all this like Mr. Beast stuff. And in on his Instagram, there he is with Mr. Beast doing this thing and that thing. And I'm like, what the heck? There he is. He just got home. Just got home from hanging. Where are you living at now, man? Are you still in Virginia Beach? Anyway, we need to catch up. But you're doing awesome stuff. Your artwork's off the chain, first of all. That's something else I need to talk to you about. I'd love to have a body painted by you. I don't know how that would work. Even if it was just a paint job and then I got it wrapped. Okay, Carolina. That's not too sucky. We actually would love to move to Boone, that area. Oh, congrats, man. That's awesome. Felix is saying, please send one. I'll paint it 100%. So if you guys click on his name or put him in and see his picture and awesome stuff. I remember that time I ran into you at Regent and I was in the process of crashing my drone. That was pretty epic. But yeah. Anyway, we were wrapping up here. I was kind of going tangenting and there's some cool stuff happening, guys. So like I say some of this stuff and you know, it just things ebb and flow. God is good, you know, and you know, where one door's, you know, closing, other things are opening, or you create this free time that allows really amazing things to happen. And that's kind of how my life's always been. And so I do credit all of that to God. And there's some cool stuff that's happening and shaking down. And even today, got a couple phone calls that has some stuff moving and shaking, and I'm excited about it. So there could be some neat stuff in the works, motorsports related. But yeah, there he is. Tank found it. Felix, best drone pilot. I've lost a few. I've crashed a few now, and even after Felix, where was I? I was in Panama and I backed one into a tree. And luckily, the people we were filming was this indigenous tribe right at the border of Colombia, where all the drug trafficking stuff happens. And they literally, like, one of their things that they're known for is their ability to climb trees, right? And so I was trying to show these kids, and I just told the people, like, about how my drone doesn't have the rear sensors and how I have to be careful. And so I'd scoped everything out and I was looking, well, these kids were watching. And so I just continued my move a little bit further. And next thing I knew, it was in a tree. But yeah, it was pretty epic. So now I have one in the bottom of Lake Titicaca in Peru. I crashed one into the bush somewhere in Kenya, chasing a motorcycle taxi. Backed one into a tree in Panama that I had. Actually, they rescued it, although they aren't drone rescue experts. They can climb the trees really well, but their method for getting it down was literally to get to the branch and then like shake it, and it just dropped from. You should watch it coming down like 50 feet, flipping, and then just like bam, smashed on the ground. So a little clicking of parts together, and it was fine, but it's still a little bit. I still have that one, actually. I actually have it right here. I was just using it. Still works awesome. So, but I'd love to talk to you again, man. You guys got a little extra just randomness, having an old friend pop in like that. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap this thing up and say, I don't know, have fun RCing. I'm going to give you guys the outro again. And be cool, have fun RCing, and we will catch you next time.
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds.
Tank, I'd love an after party, man.
Is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies Podcast.